basically we want to stand now using this. These are calipers, and calipers are usually custom made to fit the individual, because different individuals have different heights. So there's the difference in, as you can see, it has the foot part. There's difference in the shoe size, in the foot size, difference in the height between the foot and the knee, between the knee and the thigh. So calipers are usually, mostly they are like, these ones are custom made, but they're universal half calipers, which don't have this foot part. So any individual can use them, because this part can be variable if you don't have this. So basically, this is how we go about it. As we said, for a paraplegic person, normally the challenge is with the waist and the knees. So the calipers have this special function whereby, as you can see, this part is able to bend. But then again, we have this special feature. We have these locks that when you engage them, you can see it is stiff. There's no motion. So this is how you get to lock the knees, and the individual is able to stand. So what we're basically going to illustrate today is to show you how she stands, but it did not start like this. Let's get on with it. So the calipers, as I told you, they are custom made. There's the one for the right side and there's one for the left side. So you have to fit them. And then another consideration you must have with calipers, the shoes have to be bigger. So basically you have to remove these shoes, because remember, there's her foot and there's this bottom part of the caliper to be accommodated by the shoe. So for that reason, we have to use different shoes, and we have to get bigger shoes. So basically, you make sure you choose the caliper for the relevant side. Like in this case, we have the right side. So what another name I call this, I call it her big shoes. These are my wife's big shoes that she has to put on to be able to walk. So actually it's easy. You just put them in like that. Make sure they are aligned. They're custom made, so make sure when you're fitting in the caliper, it molds, the foot molds with the caliper. They become one because it was molded. So this is an extension of her foot. So you have to make sure that it sits in properly and avoid folds that create pressure points, because when you stand for long using this and you have pressure points which you do not watch, you find that at the end of it, it might even develop a wound. So always make sure that all the surfaces merge in smoothly. There are no sharp edges. Our calipers are a bit worn out because we've used them for a while. So just make sure everything fits properly. Make sure her feet sits at the bottom. Then what is basically left is just tying them up like this. So when tying the calipers, always make sure if you start with the bottom, you come to the top. You do not fasten calipers up like this as you go. You have to do, if you start with the top part, then you do the bottom part. Make sure the foot is aligned and seated properly inside the calipers. Then you can do the remaining supports. It is this simple. So for all paraplegics outside there, I would like to tell you, don't give up. There's always a way, there's always an option.
And don't give up. Keep on trying. Keep on trying. I always say, never give up. Try as much as you can. And even if you don't achieve, at least you tried. That's all I say. Instead of you just giving up and not trying and then complaining, no. Try every day, try. And if you never achieve, just know that you never had, so don't feel bad. But at least you never gave up. For me, I never gave up. If I was told I will not walk, and I said I will walk. But I started slowly, by sitting down, slowly by standing. Look now, you are going to see the miracle that is saying, actually. So never lose your determination, never give up, try. Even if you fail, at least you tried. But don't fail without trying. That is all I will tell other people who become like me, paraplegic, because of things which have happened, accidents, or even sickness. Just don't give up. When God sees that you are determined and that you are able to overcome, not see it as a problem, see it as a challenge, God will always create avenues, send people your way. Like for me, I will also dedicate this whole procedure to a gentleman from Uganda called Frank, who also assisted me to be able to do all these things, to people who molded this. So God will send ways and avenues and people your way to assist you. Yeah.
So as you can see, we have one side on. And another thing I'd like you to know, you can be able to stand without necessarily having these calipers or having half calipers, though we will get to do those on other episodes. You are able to tie splints to your foot, so long as you're able to make sure, the basic thing is to make sure that you're able to lock your knees. And that can be basically done by putting splints on your foot and tying the upper area and lower area. If you're not able to afford calipers, there's a way, we call it in Africa, we call it juakali, or what we always try to do, use what is available to you. So even without all these things, it is still possible to stand using just the things we have around us.
Noting, that was my starting point. I used what he's saying, woods, and we tried using bandages before we got someone to do for us calipers. So it is possible.
So again, make sure the foot sits in properly inside the caliper. Make sure there are no sharp or bent pressure points that could cause a wound to the individual. And again, as we said, if you start from the bottom, you do not tie the next one, but you tie the upper one. So, this takes experience. Like the way I'm about to stand her, it's just because sometimes we find that we are just the two of us alone, and she needs to stand to feel a bit better. So I had to come up with a way of being able to assist her to stand myself. So basically this procedure is usually done by two people to get her to stand, but you'll get to see that on another episode. Today I'm to basically show you how I do it myself. And again, I'd like you to note that this was also self-taught. I was not taught by anybody. I just managed to figure it out myself, and it has really helped us a lot. My wife is able to stand at will, anytime, any day, anytime we want, without having to pay anybody.
But that's easy.
So that the shin does not get a lot of pressure, because all these ties you see here, actually when she stands, all the weight gets transmitted back to these points that you see I'm tying. So as you can see, these ones were relatively thin, so I have to add a bit more cushioning. Basically it's for her comfort, and the more comfortable you do this setup, the longer duration a person is able to stand. So always make sure that from the beginning you do this right, so that it does not result again in further injury. Because if you do not do this right, again you could end up with more complications. always remember, standing involves the foot, the knee, and the waist, and of course, the upper body, the hands. Your hands are generally what gives you stability. So, fortunately for us, okay, I'm not a doctor per se, but I can say the severity of injury was not, okay, it was severe. It is very severe, but there are different cases. I'm happy that after all that exercise, she's able to have reached this stage. But what I can assure you takes a lot of persistence, and the key thing is consistency. You do not stand today. You know, we were able to reach this because we were able to do it ourselves. So out of consistency, over time, she's been able to do this, and I've also been able to do this flawlessly. And I'm happy to say that we've never had any incident of injury or fall or otherwise. But if you're new to this, it's always good to have other people around you to assist you just in case she's heavy or otherwise. So after having all that on, the next thing we do is to get the frame. Basically, this is what she uses to hold and stand. We do it. So this is how we go about it. You put her legs in a proper position, and always remember, as you can see, when I remove my leg, her leg moves. So basically, I use my legs to lock her leg, and this is how I do it. I put her leg in position, I lock using my leg, I put the other leg in position, make sure the legs are straight so that she stands in a natural position as much as possible. As you can see, I'm locking her legs using my legs so that her legs do not move. The next basic thing I told you, the next support is the knees. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my knees to support her knees so that her knees lock. But at the same time, I'm not applying pressure using my knees. The pressure is going to come from my hands. I'm going to hold her, and the force, all the force is in my hands, not on her knees, because if you put pressure on the knees, it can also cause injury. So you have to learn how to do this. How to support the knees without applying pressure, by applying all the weight in your hands and on her butt. So this is the first thing you do, is remove the brake so that you're able to push the wheelchair behind when you want to come behind her. So this is how we go about it. You lift her up, you use your knee to push her knee. So this has taken a lot of experience for me to be able to do this. You get the wheelchair out of the way, then you come behind. While holding, she's got the frame. Then you let her bend down so that you are able to adjust the legs into proper position, because naturally when you're standing up they do move a bit, and you're also able to lock the calipers. So you lock the calipers like that, and we are all set. Small message. These are supporting type of camera. It actually took us a lot of time to be able to reach this stage. As I was saying, it did not happen overnight. Sweet, what do you have to say?
For me, this is a miracle. For most even doctors, I kept on trying to tell doctors, I can be able to, not to walk per se, but I can be able to improve. Most of them told me that, it is good to accept your situation. You have a spine injury, you are grounded to the wheelchair. So accept your situation and don't. But I told them, you know what, I will one day prove to you that with determination, I will stand again. I did not even think I'll be able to use these calipers or frame, even stand without aid. That's why I'm saying it is a miracle. When I show doctors this, given the level of my injury, the spine, which was really high, and the surgeries that I have, I still have metals and everything on them. So I'm saying it is a miracle. A doctor saying that, for me, I say thank you, God.